Imagine that you had the ability to harness the painful emotional energy from some of the most challenging experiences in your life and to use that energy to propel you to live your dreams. This is the power to overcome. What I want you to do for a moment is just to consider an ambulance racing to the scene to help someone who's been sick or injured. Did you ever stop to consider that maybe somebody at that scene is feeling terribly alone, scared, and overwhelmed? We're so good at dealing with the physical and safety needs of people that we tend to overlook perhaps the greatest trauma of all, traumatic stress. Let's face it, if somebody was bleeding profusely, we would never wait to try to stop the bleeding. Yet in the same way, we can't wait to address what I often call the emotional hemorrhage. Today, there are three things that I'd like to do. First is I'd like to help you to understand what kinds of events are really impacting our lives. In terms of our feelings, our thoughts, our actions, physical and spiritual reactions. Second, I'd like to provide you with some practical strategies, some coping skills, if you will, that you could take and use to help you in your life. And finally, this exciting area of the power to overcome, to harness painful energy and to use it to move from victim to survivor and ultimately thriver. There are a lot of terms out there in the field of psychology. It's sometimes called psychobabble. But this is one term I'd like you to know: traumatic stress. When we talk about traumatic stress, we're talking about feelings, thoughts, actions, physical and spiritual reactions of people who are exposed to or even who witness events that overwhelm their ability to cope and to problem solve. And we hear about this thing called post-traumatic stress disorder. Ladies and gentlemen, traumatic stress and PTSD are not the same thing. Traumatic stress is a normal response to the abnormal events in our lives. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a chronic psychiatric condition where we're not able to function in the world anymore. I would prefer that we don't even talk about PTSD, and instead, let's talk about what we could do to potentially prevent it in the first place.